Welcome to the Scene Snobs Podcast.
Welcome to the Scene Snobs Podcast, everybody. It is Tuesday night. It is 7 p.m., a very special time. I'm trying this out. Let me know what you guys think. Sound off. Let me know in the comments. If you like it. Do you like going on early? It's such a crazy time for me to think, hey, let's go 7 o'clock, because 9 o'clock is really what we've been since the beginning. October 6th, 2019 was officially the Scene Snobs Podcast, our official, we weren't live that day, but Casey and I had recorded our first episode together starting at 9 p.m. And then when I think it was maybe 3 episodes. By that point, it was just me. But 3 episodes, I decided, I always had known I wanted to do lives. I kept it at 9, and it just stayed that way Tuesday nights, and had just stayed at 9 p.m. and kind of just kept going around and around and around. And I had stayed there, and now I'm thinking I kind of might want to go earlier. I think it's time for a shift. I'm getting a little older. I'm in my 40s now. I'm no longer in my 30s. We're going on year 4. We're into year 4, I should say. We're going to be celebrating 4 years in October. I thought maybe it's time to make a change, go into summer. We have some fun stuff planned going into June, especially. So let me know what you guys think. Sound off in the comments. Sound off over on the, social medias and stuff like that. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Let's see what you guys got going on before we get into it. Derpy, you are the first one here. I'm the first. I'm better than you. Deal with it. Derpy, you are one of a kind, and I love it. Dadpool, what's up, buddy? How you doing, man? It's good to see you. How you doing, AJ? I was thinking about you earlier, and it was all good. I was hoping you're doing well. I'm waiting for the anger. We will get there. We're going to have a lot of things we're going to go over tonight. It might be a shorter episode than normal. I don't have a guest tonight. It's just me. It's not that I did kind of search out a guest, and I'm going to get into that discussion of it a little bit. I had put out some offers to some people. A couple of people couldn't make it. And then a couple of people I just kind of said, you know what? I actually kind of think I want to do this one by myself. And we'll get there. We're going to talk about it. Let's go over the comments first, though. All right. Derpy says, I'm waiting for the rant in the century about more pay for Hollywood writers with lazy writing. No, I'm not getting a writer's strike this week. Although I do support you. I stand with the WGA. Always. Dude, you're looking good. Thank you. I shaved my head again. I think I'm going to keep it for the summer. And I kind of trim my beard a little bit. It's been getting a little scraggly as it grew back. I kind of wanted to, I just wanted to clean up a little bit. It's been kind of a trying time lately. And like I said, we'll get into some things. But yeah, for the most part, I just wanted to clean up a little bit. I figured, look good for you guys coming into the show. Kathleen's here. What's up, Kathleen? What are we angry about today? We'll get into it. And it's going to be, some of it's going to be really funny. We're going to talk about we're going to tell a funny story about the Taylor Swift concert I went to. We're going to talk about some other funny things. We're going to talk about some heavy things, but with a lighthearted twist. I think you guys know me well enough to know by now it's going to be enjoyable. It's going to be fun, but we're going to get into it. Mick, thoughts on D Plus Echo series dropping all at once? Disney Plus and Echo series dropping all at once. I think they kind of have to at this point. Let me get to that. I'm going to save that one. That's a good one, though. Thank you. I did read up on that, and I want to talk about that a little bit. We just got our first poster for the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Yes, we did. I was not excited for this movie, and I'm still kind of not. Yeah, let me get that. Let me finish up here in theaters October 20th. Okay, well, I think that might have been. Oh, well, there are a few more. So let me finish up here, and then we'll get some more. What up, Mick? Who we angry? Sturdy. What's up, pal? I sent the poster general in the Discord. I did see it. And because you just popped it up, but let's see what we got. How was the Taylor Swift concert? I mean, listen, I think my protest song was better than anything she sang. Let's just put it that way. I'm kidding, of course. 10 more days. And if you don't know, if you're listening to this and you have not heard my protest song, you have to go back and find that. That's a deep cut. There's a deep cut that these people know about because I love them. Are you mad at T Swizzle? Never. I could never be mad at T Swizzle. T Swizzle is an adorable human being, and she puts on an amazing concert. And I'm so glad that I'm retiring on her concert, although I do wish I wasn't there. Hey, Mick, you're looking great, buddy. I'm walking the dog, so I get to actually pop on live. Hey, man, thank you so much for joining in, Dale. I love you, buddy. I appreciate you. By the way, who's going to Snobnation? Who's going to CFF this year? It's in 2 weeks. It is crazy. If you guys didn't see, we're doing a special. We have a special up. Kathleen, get with John about it, too, if you're interested. There's a special deal. And I have an even specialer deal for our patrons. That's why I said get with John about it. We have our new Horror Nerd shirt out over on our merch store, and there's 10% off up all the way through CFF. So go check it out if you guys want to get it. But our patrons, go check out what we have up on Patreon, because there's actually a little bit better of a deal for you guys. So go check that out there. Let's see what else you guys are saying before we get started. Three Geeks. How can anyone be mad at T Swizzle? Never mad at T Swizzle. She puts on a great show. I mean, I will get there. I'm going to tell a story. It's going to be fun. T Swizzle is an international treasure, Kathleen. Yeah. We can't even say national. She is an international. Chris, I'll be there. I do want to try and see if we can get like everybody together. Maybe get the group together and go have like breakfast at Pam's farmhouse. I know she is. I was going to have issues with Mick. Was mad at her. I'm not mad at her. I think she's great. I always love Taylor Swift. I mean, we all know my favorite version's Cat Taylor Swift. Next year, we were planning on going to CFF. Actually, it's pretty funny you mentioned that. We had a meeting last night about CFF. Got a lot of fun things planned for this year, because we had to plan out the Saturday night party. If you guys don't have tickets for that, you should get them. It's going to be fun. I'm hosting the games. There's going to be a lot of prizes and stuff part of it. I'm hosting the games. I'm playing the devil. Let's have some fun. And it's going to be a good time. But, there's going to be a lot of great people there. And we have a lot of fun stuff in store. But we started already planning for next year. Not just the party, but the convention. So hopefully you guys will be a part of it. But while we're here, let me talk to you guys about it. Anybody listening later. Thursday night at 7 p.m., we have a very special horror conversations. If you don't know that, it's the Scene Snobs Podcast, but it's our special monthly show that is brought to you by Carolina Fear Fest. And we talk about horror movies. We talk about the convention. We go over all the stuff. This time we're going to be getting into a lot of stuff because it's only 2 weeks away. My man Master Shake's going to be on there with one of his horror-themed drinks. We're going to be talking about it all. So make sure you tune in, 7 p.m. Thursday night, very special episode. We will also be doing one the following Thursday on the 25th. That's going to be the opener for CFF, and we'll be having one every day during CFF. We have amazing interviews in store for you too. I cannot believe, I'm so excited to sit down and talk with some of these celebrities, especially I get to talk to Dee Wallace, whom I love from so many great movies. I get to talk to Barbara Crampton. I am super excited for all of this. Hopefully you'll check those out. Some of them will be live, some of them won't be live, but they will be up, they will be filmed, and when I edit them, they will be out on our YouTube channel, and they will be over on our Carolina Fear Fest, and their YouTube channel. So make sure you go over and hit subscribe, because we're actually 15 subscribers away from 1,500, and I would absolutely love it if we can get there. So please share it out. Let's try and get some subscribers there. We really appreciate it. All right, so let's get it going. Okay, so I before we get started, actually, I know you guys want to know what I'm angry about. I know you guys want to know what I want to talk about with Taylor Swift, and I'm going to get there. I did want to talk a little bit about this week. Fast X is coming out. I'm going to see it with my kid. He absolutely, my 11-year-old loves the Fast and Furious movies. I don't know. He does, whatever. We're going to get into it. We're going to go see him. I have to review it anyway, so it's fine. I see a lot of people lately, a lot of my friends in the indie film community. So this is one thing that kind of angers me. We can get into it. Really kind of bitching and moaning about how many movies in the Fast and Furious franchise there are. And here's my thing. I have seen so many trash and schlock movies over the years. So many, and nobody bats an eye. All independently funded, fine. And again, nobody's saying they shouldn't exist. Nobody's saying you shouldn't make your movie. But my problem is how many people feel they can complain when there's a franchise that now has a 10th movie coming out and is already talking about extending what they said was going to be 11 movie franchise and then done to a 12 movie franchise with spinoffs, more to come. There's already one spinoff and they're talking about more. And they're freaking out in the independent community. Can I just say, stop? Can we let it go? First off, none of that money was ever going to your production. No one is holding your independent production back from the studio. And that money that goes to them does help out in a long roundabout way, does help out when it comes to independent productions. Others independent productions, I'm sure, and one day maybe yours when you build up to that, because there are levels, and unfortunately that's just how it works. There are levels. There are studio films, there are studio independent films, there are independent films completely void of the big studios. There are independent houses that produce independent films, and then there are crowdfunded independent films, and below that even more so. When you have the studios making these big, ginormous movies, you can hate them. You don't have to like them at all. You don't have to like the Star Wars. You don't have to like the Star Trek. You don't have to like the Fast and the Furious movies. You don't have to like the Jurassic Park movies, Jurassic World movies, whatever. My problem is stop trashing them. Saying that a movie shouldn't be made because you don't like it is one of the biggest amounts of bullshit I could ever hear any filmmaker say. Because now you are trashing not just something somebody wrote, not just something somebody directed, not just something somebody starred in, but something a slew of other people have worked on, right? And now there is a clear audience. Already, Fast X is projected to make $300 million at the box office its opening weekend. That's not a slouch thing. You know, you bitch and moan about Top Gun Maverick being a sequel with Tom Cruise and Tom Cruise sucking because he's this, that, or the other thing. You can hate whoever for whatever reason. But if you're a filmmaker and you're saying this shouldn't be made, my movie should be made, you wouldn't know what to do with the budget. You haven't earned it. I'm sorry. I know I feel like I'm bitching and moaning. I'm not saying this about everybody. There are some very talented independent filmmakers I know personally who I would love to see with a big budget and I think deserve a big budget. I see the work they put in and I would love to see where it goes for them. My biggest issue is the sideline bitching, and it really comes from the crowdsourcing. It really does. It has become such a Wild West bitch fest in there. I even now see filmmakers underhandedly shit talking other people's productions that are trying to just gain money from themselves for doing things. Listen, I've worked at it from the studio level. Raleigh Studios, Paramount. I've worked jobs for Universal. I've worked jobs for Warner Brothers. I've worked jobs for almost everybody except for Disney. I never worked for Disney. No, excuse me. It's just all the way down. There's bullshit, of course. We know that. If you want to be a filmmaker, be a filmmaker, but you're going to have to eat the bullshit and you're going to have to understand it. I didn't want to eat the bullshit. I didn't want to understand it. I walked away from it. I wasn't doing the aspect of it that I loved. I walked away from it. My decision. I love this. I absolutely love doing this. I fell in love with it. That's why I do it. My biggest issue is when I see filmmakers really, truly, honestly trashing whatever they can to build themselves up. And I've seen it a lot lately. Every time something comes out. Now, you don't have to like a movie. Perfect example, Halloween Ends. That movie was dog shit. It was a bad movie for a Halloween movie. As a Halloween movie, that movie was absolutely written terribly. That was a shoehorned bullshit sequel that didn't work. I don't know what David Gordon Green was going for with that. I don't know how he got from the 2018 version of Halloween, which was great, to Halloween Kills, which was mediocre and seemed like it was a really good bridge to wherever he was going, but then he took a hard left turn. I know that's my right, but you see it as your left. Okay, hard right turn. But that Halloween Ends to change it up that much and completely tear down the franchise that you were building. It was a dog shit movie. Should it have been made? Yeah, absolutely. Why wouldn't it be made? It's making money. It's stupid not to make it. Although I think it should have been made into its own movie. I don't think it should have been a Halloween movie. It could have been a good horror movie or thriller if it didn't have Halloween on it or Michael Myers anywhere near it. I know I feel like I'm going off on a tangent. I promise you. I get there. I do. And it's all going to come together. Just bear with me. Stick with me. And I haven't had any gummies today. I'm fresh. I promise. My issue is how little independent filmmakers choose to understand the business in the industry when they're trashing it. It is very easy to do. Now, is this what I'm pissed off about? No, but it does piss me off because it's been around forever. It was there when I was in it. It's been there since I left it. It was there before I got into it. And I've been in it a long, long time. Okay? I still consult. I still do things. People still come to me. I still have very good friends who I helped get jobs doing big things in the industry. This isn't something to tout. I am proud of everything they do. I don't ask them for anything. I don't want anything from them. I'm just happy that I get to see my friends succeed. And that's why I get kind of pissed off, because I know what they're doing. I know what they're putting in. I know what the work they're doing is. And I know people who are working or have worked on Fast X and the preceding sequels that, or right now it's sequel, maybe more, and have worked on Hobbs and Shaw and maybe more spinoffs. I don't know. So when you trash it, and I know how much hard work went into it, get a life. Get a life. Why? You think your movie's better? Because I can promise you, I know filmmakers who are making independent films who are excelling in the crowdfunding and making good movies that are really fun and really you want to see. And each passing movie, yeah, it's difficult. It's hard. Actually, difficult and hard, I don't even think are the right words. It's a fucking dogfight. It drags you down and kicks your ass. Being a filmmaker is not easy, especially an independent one. And I see these filmmakers, these producers, these directors, and more step in the ring and they fight the 15 rounds and they go toe to toe and they do it. They get the money. They make the movie. They put it out. They do everything they have to do. And they make a good movie and they build it and they build it. And then the next one gains a little more money. They get some better stars in it. It's a better story. They've learned from the last one. Those are the good filmmakers that one day they don't think they're going to make it. You know, the Dave Kerrs of the world. I'm going to call them out. Dave Kerr, Mike McGlynn's, things like that. Those are the guys who are, you know, and there's a lot more to it. There's a lot more. And I can name a lot more. I'm just a couple goes off the top of my head. Those are the guys who are building their career and they're going to do great things. The ones who are shit talking, don't even give them the time of day. It's not that you don't want to support their business. Don't support a shit talking business. And I'm not even just talking about the Fast X stuff. I'm talking about the other crowdfunders. The people who are out there who are trying to do their thing, trying to make money, trying to make their movie. and you have other people bashing them and trashing them and doing this and doing that. Don't do it. That's not how you do it. It's a collaborative effort. I've always heard that term. I've always heard that term with a lot of things. In this industry, in that industry, it's a collaborative effort. We got to get together. Casey used to say it a lot, but I don't always agree with it. And I definitely, I agree with his sentiment. I think when Casey said it, he meant it. I think and he really felt that way. So when I say I disagree, I don't disagree with him saying or feeling that way. I just disagree that it works that way. That a rising tide lifts all ships. There are some ships out ready to gun you. That's how it is. And I'm not trying to be cynical. I'm not trying to bring anybody down. And I'm not saying that you should take anybody out. I'm not saying that. But you got to understand, in these industries and things like that, there are things that go on. There are horror stories that I hear constantly podcasting or in filmmaking. I'm going to stick mostly within those. I can talk about any number of different industries and we can get into it. But when it really comes down to it, like, I'll talk about those two specifically because that's we're a movie podcast primarily, and we are a podcast. The collaboration and things like that, you don't see it enough. You don't see it where it helps. Like, it's nice. It's nice to think about. It's nice to team up with people. It's nice to do things, but you're always on your own for the most part until you kind of build your community. And that's the people you need to look out for. And when I say look out for, join in on, be supportive of. That's how and if you're building something for yourself, that's how you need to build it. That's how you see the successful people. I'm not in it for myself. I'm building a community. Like, and what I mean by that is, like, you see filmmakers who are building a stock company, these actors that they work with, these other filmmakers, the cinematographers or the camera people or producers, things like that they continually work on, and they build it out each time, and the supporters that keep coming back that they really connect with. Same with podcasting, stuff like that. You guys, the Snobs Nation, I like to think that's a good idea of what I'm talking about. It's about building community. But you will see so many people who aren't building a community. They're looking for followers. They want your money. They don't even want your attention. Most of the time, these people don't give a shit if you watch their movies. They don't even care. They just want your money to make the movie. They want somebody else to watch their movie so they can get more money to make their movies. It is perfectly okay to get paid for what you do. I want to be paid for this. This is my life's passion. It's what I want to do. I want to show my kids that you can build something on your talent. You can build something on your hard work. You can build something for yourself. I want to do that. That's what I'm working towards. But you got to do it the right way. And you have to do it with love. 100%. It's got to come from love, first and foremost. You build anything out of hate, it will crumble and fall. Hands down, never will stand. It may not fall right away, but it will fall. Anything that comes out of deception, hate is the ultimate. That's the number one. Don't build anything out of hate, but the deception, all that stuff. Like, once you start from there and go down, it tears it apart. It tears everything down. You got to start with love, and you got to go with honesty. You got to go with integrity. You got to go from those points of view. And that's what I see. And honestly, when you even start yourself, like, you pour your love into something, you write a script, and you love it. You love the story you're telling. Yeah, of course, you got to walk away from it sometimes. You got to do this, you got to do that. But if it starts with love, it's always going to be successful in some way. It may not be the successful thing that you were hoping for, but it may lead to a success that you're looking for. And that's what I got to believe. So that getting into it. I know I'm losing some of you, and I'm sorry for that. But I wanted to really get into that aspect, because before I get into the angry side of it, I know it's the angry episode, and get into the old Taylor Swift concert and stuff like that. I did want to say that because I've been seeing a lot of people bash not just these newer big studio movies, big franchise movies, but I've been seeing them bash smaller independent films that are people just trying to do their thing. And then right on top of it, step on the neck and say, but support my film. I get messages all the time. Give money to my project. Do this. Share this. Can I be on your show? Can I do this? Can I do that? No. I've seen what you did. And that's what happens. You build off hate. That's what's going to happen. People will see it. And also, because I know some people listen out there and some people watch, and I know who knows who I'm talking to, and I'm not going to call anybody out right now. You need to start respecting women. And I'm going to leave it at that. So that all wasn't for just one person, but that last part was. All right. Let's see. Fast and Furious movies are just supposed to be ridiculous fun. They succeed at that. They're not unlike Transformers and Sharknado in that regard. I 100% agree. I don't think there's nothing you can't make in terms of enjoyment. Again, if you make something out of hate, if you make a movie out of hate, it's not going to do well. I don't want to say you make a snuff film, you're allowed to make it. No, you're going to get what you get out of that and what you deserve. Been seeing that a lot lately, damn near every day. Happens, and it's going to keep happening. Bring it up. Thanks, man. There's an independent family named the Addams Family that made some very real, some really movies. Hellbender, The Deeper You Dig. They are pretty good. I'll look into them. Thanks for that, Chris. Appreciate that. A good independent fan film is Chris R. Notarelli. Yeah, I've checked out some of his stuff based on you. Thank you, man. At Blinky 500, who does it for the fans. Yeah, he does, and they're fan films for the most part. I don't know of any of his original stuff, but I have seen some of his fan films. I've seen a lot of this as well. Yeah, it's tough. We need the backstory so we can better appreciate the anger. It's all good. It's not, the anger comes from a lot of places and having a tough time. And what kind? All right, so let's get started. Well, first off, let me tell you the Taylor Swift story. Okay, so we went to the concert last Friday. All right, my wife is a big Taylor Swift concert. Not concert, but my fan is I should say. She loves Taylor Swift. Now, I didn't get it. I don't dislike Taylor Swift. I think her music is catchy. It's fun. She's a beautiful woman. She's smart. She puts all those Easter eggs in her stuff. She seems funny. I've seen her in interviews and stuff like that. She's smart, smart with the wisecracks and stuff like that. I like that about people when they're funny like that. I don't know. I know she gets hit for the songs about all the ex-boyfriends. I don't really care. I make jokes, to my wife for the most part. I think I made jokes on the show. But for the most part, I don't know much about it, and it's more just jokingly anyway. But if you can write songs about it, go for it. Who cares? I mean, how many other people have done that? Stevie Nicks, man. So when I'm watching, so she's a really big fan about it. Like I said, I didn't get it. And for months, we bought these tickets when they came out. It was the morning she had the pre-sale thing or whatever. I have stopped going to concerts years ago. I don't like going to concerts anymore. I used to go all the time. I've seen everyone I want to see. I don't think there's a concert or a classic rock or a hip hop artist or anyone that I don't want to see that I haven't seen, that I want to see that I haven't seen. And I just don't want to do it anymore. I'm not into it. I've had this argument with friends before. I just am not there. So when it comes down time to it, she wants to go to this concert. I desperately don't want to go to this concert. If I don't want to go to a concert of a band that I like or a hip hop artist that I like, why the hell do I want to go to a stadium tour? The last stadium tour I think I went to was Springsteen. You know, like, and that was 20 years ago, maybe over 20 years ago, maybe. I can't even remember when. So I just, when she did that, I was like, fine. She got 2 tickets. It was like, whatever. We had talked about it. We had saved. We did the whole thing. I mean, once they announced the tour or whatever, you know, we put some money down. We had a savings. We knew we were going to bite into that and stuff like that. So we went for it. It's a big memory, you know, why not? Go for it. You live once. Can't take it with you. So we went for it, and she got the tickets, and my niece was going to go with her. Well, my wife's dealing with a lot. She was assaulted back in 2021, and we're not going to talk about that. I'm not going to give any information because that's her story, and I would never tell her story. But she has a hard time being in public places. She can go public places when I'm with her. I'm 6'8", I'm 480 pounds. And I know this sounds like a challenge, and it never will be, because I'm not going to fight anybody. I don't want to fight. I've spent enough time in my life fighting. But I know if I have to, I'm going to fuck you up. And I say that because I know I've spent a long time fighting people. Not because it was fun, not because I wanted to, and I've never started a fight. But because I know what I'm capable of. And I say that for the very reason that she feels very safe. And on a night that she met me, I was working at a bar unofficially, and 4 fights broke out, and she saw me handle them all. She knows I know what I'm doing, and I know how to take care of myself. Now I do not like to fight. My biggest feeling on fighting is, if somebody wants to fight, it's best to stay out of their way. Just go away. As evident by the concert, and we'll get there. So I swear to God, on my tombstone is going to say, Mick will get there, Manhattan. And then my wife will walk up to it and say, why is the wrong name on this tombstone? So, but anyway, I digress. So we get there. We're doing this. She wanted me to go. She said, I really want to go to this. Taylor Swift is my thing. I love it. I want to say it was December we bought the tickets, but I'm not 100% sure when they went on sale. I can't remember. Maybe it was November. All I remember is that Taylor Swift played in my house every day, almost all day long and night, until like she finally gave me a break today. Finally, I was just like, can we just not listen to Taylor Swift for a little while? And she's like, yes, that's okay. That's fine. Out of everything, I can give it a bit of a break. I'll listen to it on my headphones if I want to listen to it. Fine. So, I mean, she loves it. She would go into detail. She would explain all the stuff to me. And it didn't dawn on me at first, but then it started to dawn on me more and more. She would buy like the same shorts she wears. She'd have all these t-shirts on. She started wearing like outfits that like Taylor like had. And I'm like, oh shit, this is cosplay. Oh. And then we got there. Well, we drove the 3 hours and 49 minutes to Philly from Virginia, where we are, which should have been 3 hours, but whatever. I hate Philly, but whatever. I'm from Jersey, so anybody who's from Philly understands why I hate them. And I'm not from South Jersey, so they understand that even more. I'm from North Jersey. Go Giants. So we get to Philly, and, you know, whatever. It's fine. We park, do our thing. I'm in the car for almost 4 hours. I'm 6'8". My knees are hounding. I already have neuropathy in my feet from the diabetes. My knees already hurt me because it broke my back and knees years ago from so much issues. And plus, I'm gigantic. There's so much to complain about. Here's where we get angry. Now I have to walk through the parking lot. Whatever. She's happy. She's in, I don't want to say cosplay. You know, she's wearing her outfit. But everybody is dressed up like some Taylor Swift outfit from some era, I get era stores from some part of Taylor Swift. And then I started getting it. And then, so I'm even wearing like one of the, or two of the bracelets she made me. I'm going to be wearing these for a while. My wife and I will respect it, but I had to take a couple of them off. I don't give a shit. I will care about what my wife thinks a lot more than I care about what anybody else thinks. And if it makes her happy. So I guess a big thing was like make friendship bracelets. And then other people were trading. So I bought her a friendship bracelet kit. And she spent like the week before making bracelets up and down her arm. She went crazy with them. She had so much fun. And she made one for me and the boys and a few other people. And she wore a bunch of them. She had her heart sunglasses on and her outfit and the whole nine. So we walk through, we go get something to eat, talking to people, whatever. It's a good time. We're not in the stadium yet. It's a good time. I'm already sweating because I'm in the sun. That's just the way I do things. So I'm already starting the miserable train. But I told myself, I said, even though I don't want to drive far, I don't give a shit. I'm going to do this. And I'm not going to complain once. Oh, Sturdy, she will 1,000% make you one. If you want one, you tell me what you want named on it. She will make, actually, she said she wanted to make some for CFF because she's going. She said she'll make anybody. So if you want a friendship bracelet, you say it and you say what you want on it, she'll make it for you. So, but I told myself, I am not going to complain once. I said, she doesn't complain about my geek stuff. I am not going to complain about her geek stuff. Once I realized what this is her geek. Sir Sturdy. I'm on it, dude. And she will absolutely, she loves you, Sturdy. She will absolutely do it. So if she's watching right now, she probably started. Bracelets and cookies for Snobnation at CFF. I'll do my best with the cookies. She really wanted to bring a whole big batch, but I will see. So so I said, I'm not going to complain. I am in it for the long haul. I knew it was going to be long because we got there. I think it was like 2 p.m. She wanted to leave even earlier. We left at like 10:30 in the morning. I think 10 or 10:30. We got there like 2 p.m., 2:30 or something like that. And I was desperately hungry. I was like, we gotta go eat. We got cheesesteaks. Philly, why not? We go to Gino's. Got some cheesesteaks, got some drinks. We're hanging out. She's like, you want to go into the stadium? She's like, it opens up around 5. But she goes, I want to go to the merch table and stuff. Okay, yeah, sounds good. We go. She's doing her thing. Finally, no, I'm sorry, 4 o'clock it opened up. 4 o'clock we go in. She's like, all right, I'm going to stand on line. I'm going to buy merch. This line is longer. I will not stand. I've stood on line once for 2.5 hours. I don't stand on lines. That's it. I don't. The only reason I stood on this line, me and Lenny stood on this line for 2.5 hours at the NHL draft in 2012 to see the Stanley Cup. That was the only line I would ever stand on line for the Stanley Cup. It's worth it. If you can see the Stanley Cup and touch it, go do it. I would not do it for any other trophy or any other thing. I will do it for that. So, and I will never do it again because I've done it. So, she goes stand in line. I was like, all right, it's the line, the actual physical spot, not where she was. She was all the way down. I was like, all right, are you okay here? Because I was like, right over there is where we're sitting. I was like, I need to go sit. We've been walking around for a while. My feet are tired. My knees are killing me. She goes, yes, I'll be right here. You're a phone call away. And like, I was not far. Like if she called, I could run, and she was surrounded by people. So I went, sat in the seat. So go down. We were not far at all. Like we were in like row 10. Or no, I'm sorry, row 7. Which I found out later after a very ridiculous interaction. Row 7 from like the bottom lower level, which was very lucky because that was not where we bought the tickets. Like they actually traded them after all the Ticketmaster craziness. Like we were farther away and they wound up trading our tickets to closer. So it was pretty cool. So I go and I sit down. First of all, there's cup holders in the stupid arena, or stupid stadium, as I should say. They're just like imprinting on my knees, right? On either side. And I have to man spread. Sorry, I'm calling it that. Whatever. I have to man spread, not just because my nuts are huge, but because I have giant legs and very small space in front of me. They made this stadium for normal humans like you guys. They didn't make it for me. All right. So I'm sitting there. My legs are spread out. Now, granted, at 5 p.m. when I'm sitting in the seat and nobody's in the row, it's fine. I can adjust. I can move around. I can stand up. I'm not blocking anybody. Now, I realize at a concert being 6'8", I can't stand up. I don't get to stand up. There's some luxuries that normal-sized human beings get to have that 6'8" people don't. I don't get. Actually, it's funny, Chris. You said the struggle is real for us big guys. I didn't have a problem sitting in the seat. I am trying to lose weight. I am working on it. I am still 480. So, like, you know, it was tight. So the struggle is real. They don't make anything for us. You're absolutely right. But for me, I was okay in the seat. Problem is I can't really maneuver around at all. My biggest issue is I'm sitting here. I can't believe it's 7:42 already. Jesus, this isn't that long of a story. 7:42 already. That's nuts. No, I'm sorry, I'm getting off base. So I fit in the seat, but now my legs are jammed. Their cup holders like imprinting on my sides of my knees. I have this drunk woman who's standing next to me, just like swerving with her beer, banging into my head and my shoulder. And I'm just like, come on. My wife's having a great time. I am zipped up. I'm like, I'm not saying a word. This is excruciatingly painful. My back hurts. My every part of me hurts. I am sweating because from 5 p.m. until about 8:30 p.m. I have been sitting on the sunny side of the stadium, just sweating. And it's just been horrifying. All right. And it's just sucked. The whole thing just sucked. Then nighttime comes. 8 o'clock, Taylor goes on. The music was great. Gail was the first opener. She came out like 6:30. She was fantastic. She sings that A, B, C, D, E, F, and then she says F, U, whatever. She was great. Everything she sang was fun. She has like a cool 90s alternative sound to her. I dug her a lot. I'll check out her music. I'm never going to go see her in concert again because she's playing for Taylor Swift. She's already too big and I don't want to do it. But I'll check out her music. Phoebe Bridgers, never heard of her before. Very cool set. Did a really cool job. Good singer. I don't know if it's my taste, but she's very talented. I would suggest checking her out for yourself. See what you think. Taylor goes on. When I tell you it's the best show I have ever seen, the best concert, it 1000% is. She destroyed everything. She killed it. Now, granted, I'm sitting, but I'm like kind of like poking my head through and stuff. And there was a point I did get up, and I'll get into that. But I can kind of poke my head up and see her. But for the most part, I'm watching her on the screens, which, by the way, great camera work by whoever was doing the camera work on that. Fantastic. 10. You get a 10 out of 10 on that. Great freaking camera work. It was beautifully done. Stage was gorgeous. Everything was wonderful. It was the best concert I have ever been to. And is the only concert I've ever been to that I absolutely 1000% hated. And I was at the Guns N' Roses concert where they didn't show up and we rioted. And that was in Philly too. Actually, I have 3 Philly stories. I'm going to save the last one. It was the greatest line cut in the history of anything. But I'm going to save that for another time. So you keep you guys coming back for more. So, and I'll save the riot one for another time too. But yeah, so we're there. She's doing a great concert. I'm miserable. I hate my body. I hate what's happening. I look at my wife. I just want to leave. I'm looking at my clock. I'm looking at my phone. You know, I'm putting on a good face for her. I do not want to be here. The longer it goes on, I can't stand it. Finally, I'm like hit. It's like 9:30, 10 o'clock. I have to go to the bathroom. I'm like, I don't want to shuffle out, but whatever. It's kind of a lull. She's getting ready in between. I was like, I go to the bathroom and I got to go stretch. I am hurting. I need to eat something because now I've sweat everything out and I haven't eaten anything since like 3. So I shuffle out. Everybody's really kind. Lets me go. Because although we're also right in the middle. I always like to sit on the end. We're right in the middle. We're in like seats 10 and 11 out of like 20. So I shuffle out. I rush upstairs. We're all the way back up. I go out. I go to the bathroom. I chill for a few minutes. I'm just relaxing, trying to catch my breath. Get something to eat. Get the most scalding hot cheese, which burns my hand. Like it was the worst. I do all of that. It's horrifying. I finally catch my breath. I'm like, all right, I need to go back. They're playing 22. My wife loves that song. And it's a fast song. So she always runs up and dances with me whenever it's playing. So I'm like, I want to be there for her. It's her geek thing. She's always there for my geek thing, even though she fucking hates horror movies. She like not hates them. I shouldn't say hate. She doesn't hate anything, but she doesn't like them. So like, but she puts up with all of my geek stuff. She will sit there for horror movies. She will sit there for the Star Treks. She will sit there for Star Wars. She will sit there for everything. She does not care what I collect. She is there for it. So I'm like, I'm getting back down there. I'm going to do it. So I cannot see a goddamn thing. And I'm like, I don't remember what row we're in. I don't have the tickets. She's there. I don't remember who was on the end of the row. I remember nothing. So I'm going down. I know I'm tall. I'm trying to get down there. I'm trying to remember. And I'm looking for the thing. I'm like, I think we're in 7. Let me see where we're at. So like I'm going down the stairs with my phone, my flashlight on my phone, looking for the numbers on the side of the seats. And I'm standing there and I'm looking and I can't really see it. My eyes aren't working properly, I guess. And then I get on my shoulder, I feel like a really hard tap, like somebody's slapping me on the shoulder. And I turn around and it's this dude and he's just like right in my face like that. And I'm like, dude, I'm looking for something. And he's like, you're in the way. And I'm like, okay. So I stepped down one step. Now I realize like being so tall, I'm still in this little guy's way. So I'm pissed. But I'm like kind of hunched over looking. And I'm not going to, I'm like 30 seconds. I'm not like in this guy's way for like 10 minutes. And I'm just looking and I'm looking and I'm like, all right, I think that's it. And then I look over and I'm like trying to find her. And then they grabs my shoulder. They grabs onto my shoulder like that. And I'm like a swing back. Like I don't go like this, but I like swing back to like, get off of me. Don't fucking touch me. Like I'm like, don't fucking touch me. And this dude cocks back and he comes at me. And I'm like, okay. And then like I just go like this. He swings forward, flies forward. He's going down the steps. I catch him and I put him back up into his seat. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like, what are you doing? Cop sees us. I think it's a cop. He had a badge on. Calls us up. We got to go back up. The dude, like, they come and grab him. He's like pulled up. He pulls us out. We go all the way up. And they're like yelling. And they're not yelling at me because they saw, like, grabbed him and put him up. I didn't touch him. I was just like, get off me. They saw him slap me, grab me, and swing at me. And all they saw was like me grab him when he fell and put him back. I'm like, thank God. They got my info and they're like, go. I went right back down. I was like, I'm beelining. I'm getting the hell out of here. I was like, hopefully I don't got to go back to Philly for any other reason. I was like, they got a lot of witnesses they can go and talk to. I beeline back. I was like, I'm looking. The one woman on the end, she's like, she's over there. This is your row. I was like, thank God. Where were you like 10 minutes ago? So I go back in. I go see her. I stay there for the rest of it. I'm like, I am not walking around. This is Philly. I'm going to get my ass kicked. I was like, I just screamed New Jersey face, I guess. So we go. We get, we leave. We leave a little bit early. She's bummed. I was like, I got to go. I was like, we're driving home. I was like, I don't even want to stay in a hotel tonight. We didn't have one. We were just talking about maybe staying. It was like, just a lot of money. It was like, I was like, I don't want to stay in a hotel tonight. I want to drive home because it's only like 3 hours at night. I was like, I'm hyped up. I can go. I was like, we got to leave early because I was like, if we leave late, just want to make sure that was on. If we leave late, like when this all lets out, we're screwed. We're not getting home till next Tuesday. So she agrees. We leave early. She's like, thank God. She's like, thank God. We got home like 2:30. I was like, I just wanted to wake up in my own bed. Man, my knees, the next 2 days, I could barely walk. It was horrendous. And it just, like, I've never been so angry. So that is like my level. I think it's Philly. I think Philly and Jersey have this hold on me where I'm just like so angry that I only want to go back to Jersey. I never want to go back to Philly again, but I only want to go back to Jersey now only for funerals. Like if somebody kicks the bucket, I'll go back and visit. That's it. But like, it's just this anger that exists there. And it just gets me so riled up. I get so pissed off and I just don't want to do it anymore. So I officially announce my retirement from concerts. I shall never go back again. I'm done. Taylor Swift, your Eras tour was a great way to end it. You put on an amazing show. You were fantastic. I get why my wife's geek thing is your whole music and vibe or whatever. But I'm done. It's a good way to go out. Now, with that being said, I'm going to move on. Let's get to it. That was my angry episode. I wanted to kind of talk about it a little bit, but we can do an Ask Mick Anything. I am kind of finishing out. If you guys got any questions about anything, have at it. Let me know. But we do have a new movie to fix tonight, and I'm very excited about this one. I wanted to pull up my notes for it. I have some special notes. This movie was given to me by our patron Tim. Oh, John Watts, you do have some questions. Let's see what your questions are real quick. Okay, but would you be interested in spending 3 days in Chicago for Riot Fest? I'm trying to talk Kathleen into it. I saw Riot Fest's lineup, and I will tell you, no, I am not interested in that at all. Does the concert look great? Yeah, there's a lot of great bands there, some of which I've seen. One of them being the Foo Fighters, which would be the number one band that I've seen already, and I never want to go to another concert again. I am done, and I don't know what makes you think out of all of that story and telling you that I got into a fight at a Taylor Swift concert that I'd want to go to a place called Riot Fest in Chicago, but no way. All right. Well, actually, it's kind of funny that you mentioned this. Chris Harris asks, how are you and Casey? We're doing really well, actually. I have talked to a few people about this. I know some people are worried about us. I am talking to Casey. Well, I talked to him right before the show. I have not talked to him since then because I started the show. But we are good. He's coming by. We're gonna go. We're gonna be hanging out quite a bit. We're going to see Go Away together when they have the world premiere up here in Virginia. We got tickets for that, and I was gonna invite him to go see Fast X with me and my son. So yeah, we're friends. That's what it comes down to. We're friends, and we didn't lose that friendship. When it comes to this is my business. This is what I'm building. He understood that. I had to make decisions. He had to decide a lot of things for himself, and we went our separate ways. And he is an amazingly talented guy, and I love the guy. And we've talked about this, but as far as how we are, we're rock solid. We are very good, and I love the guy. So. Chris Harris just asked that question. Chris Sales is asking this question. Oh man, I was going to invite you to the McCormick Alley Cats Polka Festival. Festivals might not be over. I might make you take me to that because I know you're kidding. I as long as Lawrence Welk's there, I'm good. So that's the only polka guy I know, unless it's what's his name from Home Alone. So the Kenosha Kickers? Is it? So we do have another movie, like I was talking about for Did I Fix this week. It was given to us by our patron Tim. It is Star Trek 3: Search for Spock. I want to pull up my notes. This is a movie, when he gave this to me, I was really excited for it because it's a movie I really enjoy. I really, really like Search for Spock. I don't like it nearly as much as I like, something like Wrath of Khan or First Contact. Of course, those are pinnacles, in my opinion. Those are the movies. Those are the best. But I like it more than, I think a lot of people tend to. But it has a lot of problems. It was a very experimental film, in my opinion, with a lot of things. And I want to let me just get my notes out here while I'm doing this, because I really want to touch down on the things that, as I was going through and I was looking into them. All right, where are they? Okay, so Search for Spock, as we know, is the follow-up to Wrath of Khan. Now, Wrath of Khan, this isn't in my notes, I'm just talking about stuff. So Wrath of Khan, of course, saw Kirk and the Enterprise crew come up against the Augments, the genetically enhanced crew led by Khan, who they had met years and years earlier in the original series. In the episode Space Seed, they were a part of the genetically enhanced people who created the genetic wars that were happening in what would be the 90s. I think that's like kind of what they were going for in the 1990s. I think I don't know the specific year. And then that's what led to the genocide of a lot of human beings, and then led to like a World War III, and then ultimately kind of refreshed into the world of Star Trek and the utopia that we know it as. So when they run into Khan and his crew, they find out that Khan is very much not a good person. He's an evil person. He doesn't believe that the human should exist. The strong shall survive. So they try to take over Kirk's ship, try to take over that whole crew. Kirk and the crew stop them, and they leave them abandoned on a planet, which they say is habitable and you're good, except it's the wrong planet. Fast forward to Wrath of Khan, of course, find out it's the wrong planet. Now, Spock has to sacrifice himself, and so he dies. Kirk is broken up about it. It's a big loss for him. Now we get Search for Spock. Why? Because the Genesis, which is sort of the MacGuffin of this whole film, the Genesis device that can create life, which is being created by Kirk's son and Nurse Chapel. Well, no, she's not Nurse Chapel, and by this time she's Dr. Chapel, is being sought after by Khan. And Kirk is trying to stop it as well. They launch it onto the planet. It creates this life. They launch Spock's body onto it. It brings Spock back to life. I know what this means. We also know that Spock, before he left, mind melded with Bones, leaving that part of him in Bones. I realize how much all this craziness, and if you don't understand Star Trek, get with it. What's with you? Watch the movies. Come on. So by this third one, we pick up the crew is coming home after losing Spock. They've won the battle, but they have at great loss. And things are changing when they get home. The Enterprise is now being put to rest. They are being put to rest. They realize that they're all being kind of either reassigned or retired or put different places. And they're really upset about that. And they realize that Bones is sort of suffering because he has Spock stuck inside of his head. And he's starting to show a lot of traits that Spock would show. And once they talk to Sarek, Spock's father, they realize that and they find out that the Genesis device may have actually brought Spock back to life. They desperately want to try and get back to the planet to get the body, where they know Spock's son and Lieutenant Saavik, who's played by a different actor this time, are the science crew that are on the planet doing research where they find Spock. It's very convoluted. There's a lot of stuff going on here. And I'm going to get into it, but my biggest issue with what needs to be fixed in this, it needs to be tightened up. And I will get to your comments and stuff towards the end of the episode, but it needs to be tightened up. So like some of the notes that I had for this, here's how you fix it. Okay. So Starfleet, first of all, is being real dicks to the Enterprise crew. This is a crew that, yes, they are an older crew, and I understand that they sort of roundabout way caused Khan to kind of happen, but they also saved the day in a big, major way. They're heroes, and they should be celebrated as such, not be put out to pasture. And that is how everyone is treating them. When they are back home, everyone is treating them poorly, to the point where they have to steal a ship, their ship, to get back. They have to fight their way out to get back. Like, nobody is willing to help them. In fact, they become almost public enemies for doing what they do. It's really kind of ridiculous. I would fix that whole aspect. There has to be something about this. There has to be a better reason to keep them from going. Now, I understand wanting to keep them from the planet, having it kind of quarantined off and everything else, but there has to be some clout, especially coming home from this battle with Khan, that you really need. And it seemed really way too difficult to get a ship in a world, in a universe where there's a lot of ships. This is mostly just space travel. Like, how can you not get a ship somewhere? But anyway, I digress. But I just didn't like how Starfleet was treating Kirk and the whole crew. It's almost like, I understand your orders. I understand you got to follow them and things like that. But like, it was a little too much, a little too crazy. They even threw Bones into an insane asylum. Like, this man has been a doctor in Starfleet for so many years. So crazy. And I can even argue that, how they treat him in Next Gen was probably even worse, but whatever. And the science team. Okay, the science team is Kirk's kid and Savik. You have a 2-man science team down on the Genesis planet? Seriously? A 2-man science team. One of them's not even in Starfleet. I get why he's there. I get it, because he helped build the Genesis device. But why is there a 2-man team down there? And why is there one ship surrounding it in Starfleet? Are we kidding? And a science vessel at that. So when the Klingons shown up, they're easily take them out. We need to fix this. We need to fix this. And that's the other, whatever. So for me, yeah, you shouldn't treat the Enterprise crew. The Enterprise crew thing really bugged me. Like, that really hit, especially the fact that it's the Enterprise crew and they just lost a major crew member and a major Starfleet ambassador to Vulcan. Spock was no slouch. Spock had served on that ship for he's the longest person to serve on that ship. Like, it should have been more respectful, I think. I don't know. What they were doing for the fan service was just really nuts. Okay. I like this movie for the most part, but really what you need to fix in it is you need to fix why they need to get there. I'm perfectly fine with the fact that the Genesis machine brings Spock back to life. You needed a stronger reason for the villains. Now, you're following up Khan, who is probably one of the best villains in Star Trek history. Now, I understand that you're not going to follow it up with an even better villain. It's not going to happen. It isn't going to happen. But you do have Klingons, and you could play it up. But it's just a random batch of Klingons led by Christopher Lloyd, who are just trying to steal the Genesis machine. No real reason. They just want it. Fine. Okay. but it's just a whole lot of trouble to start a fight with Starfleet when you're not doing it for your house, you're not doing it for the Empire, you're not doing it for any other reason than you just want it. And now I get that Klingons do that, but that's a hell of a lot of trouble to blow up a science vessel for Starfleet on a planet that they are working with to steal this machine. It just boggles my mind. It's a very thin storyline, and it makes the villains cheap. I think your biggest issue with this movie is that the fact that the villains are very cheap, and you need to strengthen those villains. How do you fix that? It's not that easy. You have to take a lot of steps into it. I personally would have made it more, like, if you're going to make it bigger, I would have had more outside of the Federation planets trying to get in to get the Genesis machine. Have Starfleet have vessels out there, but they're almost outmanned and outgunned. They send the Enterprise right back out with a very thin crew. You got to get back out there. We need you back out there for the fight. Your son's out there. We got to protect him. That's when they discover Spock's out there as well, because it almost becomes secondary when it comes to his son. Look what Kirk sacrifices in this movie for Spock. And Spock alone. He sacrifices his son. The Klingons kill his son, and he sacrifices the Enterprise. All for Spock. And I understand why they did that, but they were trying to do that to make Spock's sacrifice mean something in this movie. I get it. And it does. It does cheapen Spock's sacrifice quite a bit. But if you want to bring him back, which I get, and I'm glad they did, because ultimately it led to to have Spock back than to not have him back. But it's okay to lose those things, but it should have been a bigger thing. It shouldn't have been what it was. So I really would have had more of an intergalactic issue. You could have had Romulans there. We've already established the Romulans exist. You don't even have to show them. They're just at a standoff. Have this standoff thing, almost like a Cuban Missile Crisis sort of situation going on at the Genesis planet, with Kirk's kid stuck there, now with a young Spock who it's time sensitive. Saavik is there. She's the only Vulcan who can kind of lead between everything. There's only a certain amount of ships standing between. The Enterprise is en route, trying to make it there with a skeleton crew who are just beaten, battered, bruised. The Klingons are really the biggest the biggest one's kind of battering down, because then you can keep Christopher Lloyd. They're the aggressors, I should say, the biggest aggressors in this whole situation. And then that's how you kind of keep them at the forefront. Like, they figure out how to get down there. That's where the fight comes in. And then, like, everyone else is like kind of turns away because they realize that Genesis is blowing itself up, but the Klingons refuse to give up. Spock's kid dies. Not Spock's kid. Kirk's kid dies in front of him. I think that would have been better. Like, Kirk chooses to save Spock, and his kid, like, he chooses to save Spock, and his kid jumps in the way to stop Kirk from getting killed. And that's the sacrifice. And Kirk has to watch him die. Right? I think that would have meant so much more. And now it's not even on top of that. Now his kid is dead. They're taken by the Klingons up to the bird of prey. Now Christopher Lloyd's character realizes he can't get the Genesis machine. It doesn't work. He wants the Enterprise. He's like, fuck it, I want the Enterprise. Excuse my language. Goes for the Enterprise. They go over there. Kirk is with them. They get in this big brawl on the bridge. They fight. He sets off the self-destruct mechanism. They work it out. They bring Scotty and the rest of the crew, somehow take back the bird of prey. They send the Klingons maybe over, or like maybe he calls for more Klingons. You can work that out. They kind of send over. Kirk goes back to the ship. They take that ship. They blow up the Enterprise with them on it. Now you have the bird of prey for 4. works out. I think that would have been a better story. And now you've sacrificed the Enterprise to save Spock. You've sacrificed Kirk's kid sacrificed himself to save Kirk, while Kirk sacrificed himself to save Spock. You go to the planet, which I think that whole event was stupid, but whatever, you can do it if you want, the whole Vulcan thing, but that's just me. But that's how you fix Star Trek 3 Search for Spock. That is my way of doing it. I would love to hear what you guys think. Did I fix it? Did I not fix it? Sound off in the comments. Let me know what you think. We do this every week on the Scene Snobs podcast, so if you guys want to check it out, sound off, and I really appreciate it. So guys, what have you guys, let's move on to what we're doing next. Is the Does It Suck series dead? Does it suck? Okay, so this is an AMA question, Ask Mick Anything question. Does it suck is not dead, but I'm revamping it, and I don't have any movies to do just yet, and that's a Patreon series, so we'll work on it. So if you have something you would like me to do, send it to me, and we can do it. Right now, it's been more did I fix. I love Star Trek 3. Jason, I love you, buddy, but you love everything. And I love Star Trek 3 too, but it does need to be fixed. Yeah, I'm totally lost. No offense, Chris. Is there a certain order to watch Star Trek? To newbie willing to try, can you post a watch order if it's important? I would just say watch the movies. I would just check out the movies. I would say watch the originals, then watch the next gen. If you like them, go with them. If you don't like them, I would say at least check out the three. No, excuse me. At least check out the 3 J.J. Abrams movies. I thought they were very good as well. Out of all the movies, there are some stinkers, but there's none that I don't like. There are some others that could be fixed as well. But if you guys have any movies that you want me to fix, sound off, let me know in the comments. I would absolutely love to do it. Sound off on our Discord. Guys, I'm going to take off. I really appreciate you listening to my Taylor Swift story, listening to my filmmaking story in the beginning. Hopefully I kept you entertained throughout. Thank you for staying around for Did I Fix? Thank you so much for being a supporter of the Scene Snobs and Snobnation. You guys are all awesome. I really do appreciate it. Guys, a couple of things that we have going on. Again, this Thursday at 7 p.m., we are doing a new Horror Conversations brought to you by Carolina Fear Fest. We're doing food, drink, ghosts, and more. We are discussing the con, the party, horror movies, and more. So check it out. Our buddy Master Shake is going to be doing a Terrorific Spirit, one of his awesome horror movie themed drinks that he puts together. We also have a new horror merch out on snobsmerch.com. Go check it out. It's on if you use promo code CFF 2023, you get 10% off your order now through 5/29. As of Thursday on Patreon, we will have a new episode of Warp Factor Fiction with my new co-host, my stepson Tommy, who is really good at this. Surprisingly so. Like, he stepped in and he knows his stuff, and we had a really good conversation about the series. So go check that out. That's episode 5. We're still doing Enterprise season 3, episodes 1 and 2. Next week will be episodes 13 through 24. Go check out the show. We're gonna have a good time with it. And we have so many other fun stuff coming up and good things. So please join in. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure to rate and review us wherever you listen to podcasts. We have a lot going on. It's been kind of a trying time, so I'm sorry if we've seemed like we've been a bit off, but we are coming back into full swing and stuff. So just want to say thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm not great at goodbyes. I'm not great at sign-offs and stuff like that, but I do want you all to know that I just appreciate you. You're all amazing and wonderful, and I just want you guys to go out there, no matter how hard life is, do good in the world. Try and brighten up people's days. Try and brighten up your own day. Take care of yourselves. Stay positive. Do good things. And let's just all be awesome towards each other. All right, everybody. Until next time, I'm Mick Manhattan from the Scene Snobs. Go check out thescenesnobs.com, and I will talk to you guys soon. Take care.